Natural disasters have always shaped human history. We've heard of devastating earthquakes, massive tsunamis, and catastrophic floods. But a snowstorm, powerful enough to kill hundreds of people in one of the most advanced cities of its time? It sounds almost impossible. And yet, in March 1888, it happened. What became known as the Great Blizzard struck the Atlantic coast of the United States with unimaginable force. States like New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Connecticut were completely overwhelmed. For 3 relentless days, the storm raged on. Winds reached speeds of up to 85 kilometers per hour, and snow piled up to an astonishing 1.5 meters. Entire cities disappeared beneath a frozen blanket. By the late 19th century, the east coast of the United States was already a thriving modern region. Bustling cities, expanding infrastructure, growing economies. But none of that mattered against the power of nature. In major cities like New York and Boston, life came to a complete standstill. People were trapped inside their homes, unable to leave, unable to call for help. Telegraph lines, the primary form of communication at the time, collapsed under the weight of snow and violent winds. Silence took over the city. Roads were completely blocked. Railroads stopped running. New York, one of the busiest cities in the world, was suddenly cut off. The storm claimed more than 400 lives, nearly half of them in New York alone. And the destruction didn't stop on land. Along the coast, around 200 ships were either wrecked or stranded. It took weeks to recover. Snow was cleared using horses and dumped directly into the Hudson River. But even as the storm passed, the suffering continued. When the snow began to melt, it triggered flooding in several regions, adding yet another layer of devastation. This tragedy led to important changes. The Great Blizzard exposed just how vulnerable even the most advanced cities could be. In its aftermath, critical decisions were made. Telegraph lines were moved underground, and perhaps most importantly, plans for underground transportation systems, subways, began to take shape in cities like Boston and New York. Sometimes it's not the loudest disasters that change the world, but the ones we underestimate. The Great Blizzard of 1888 wasn't just a storm, it was a turning point. If you enjoy stories about real historical events and hidden moments that change the world, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more, because history is full of stories we rarely hear about.